Talk a little bit about why you liked this role and how you approached it.
Lily and Gerda were pioneers, and I was surprised that I didn't know more about this history. And then also I was blown away because I didn't know so much that Gerda's story was also involved, and that actually at heart of this story was very much a love story, a very unique, extremely powerful one. And I guess I thought that Gerda was a very unique character in the sense that Lucinda, a wonderful writer, had made her extremely unselfish, extremely giving, extremely brave in the sense that she's able to sacrifice things for the person that she loves more than anything. And that actually in the end doesn't make her passive but extremely strong. She has an enormous sense of energy about her. Mm-hmm. And I think Tom Hooper, our wonderful director, also was great support in me finding that strength and trusting that somebody can love somebody that unconditionally. And also thinking about what this couple went through in a time when there was no reference of what they went through, and how were they able to recognize and talk about it. I mean, you've seen in the film, Lily was actually almost locked up in Denmark, and I truly believe that deep down that all was only able to have been done through love, and that somebody actually stood up and said, I'll sacrifice everything because I believe you and I want you to be able to be yourself.
So let's talk a little bit about how you worked with Eddie as he was becoming Lily. Was that something that he would do privately, and you would sort of see that emerge in the moment as you're acting the scene, or did you talk about it and rehearse a lot?
I think, yes, we definitely talked a lot. I mean, this film, we had the luxury of actually having 2.5 weeks of rehearsals. I've never had that much. It's normally, very little time and money, and you can't do that. But that was something that everyone on production, including Tom, were very keen on having. And it changes because you actually, when you get on set, you've done all that thing of getting to know each other. You talked everything through. We even had Lucinda, our writer, on set with us at the rehearsals. But Eddie is an extremely hardworking actor. And I remember when I met him at the reading, even, quite blown away by that was then 7 months before we started to shoot. And he was already so far ahead in his preparation work. And what was interesting when I saw him in the later stage of this film, being more of a pure version of the true Lily, was that's actually when he and his character looked at the most at ease, which is so much what this film is about. And that also shows how much preparation work you've done, in the sense that you know the different stages in your journey, and that he really had more of this kind of contained posture and sense of Lily as I know in the beginning, and already felt so relaxed in one way as Lily. That's all his work. But of course we actually did try out a lot of, because we had time, we had a lot of fun, and we experimented, and something that this film has been extremely educational for me, and I don't think I've ever kind of spent so much time thinking about gender as a subject before. And what I've realized also is that it's something extremely fluid. It's also something that's it's a spectrum where I've realized I don't really know where I fit in, or maybe I float around in the middle. And even if I played out, because from an outer perspective, people read me as female. So even if I tried to do a scene, and we tried with Tom and Eddie, and I played everything as male as I could, whatever that is.
And that was Tom's direction to you?
Well, we just, we did, we had fun. We just tried different scenes and rehearsed and tried it different ways. But
that you as Gerda would be more masculine.
yeah,
and
Well, in one way,
More assertive.
yeah. Well, whatever is considered to be male, because I was still going to be read as probably female. But it's interesting in the film that a lot of that we talked about it, and Gerda has a certain kind of strength to her, and it's quite empowering, quite forward, and had a lot of energy. And I think some of that came out in the play that we did in the rehearsals.
So where has this changed your views on at all on just spending time thinking about gender and
more just the fact that I have now given myself time, and then to think about it and reflect over it. But then also that, Eddie and I had an immense amount of support from a lot of people in the transgender community that we met, and for me also the friends and family and loved ones of people transitioning. So the kind of information and awareness that I've been given along making this film has been quite extraordinary.
I heard you were at the White House yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the audition? What was the scene?
Tom has a
56.
Tom always called it, it's a famous scene 56, which is the scene when they wake up the day after the ball when Lily has been kissing another man. So that's scene we did at the audition already, which was quite a big emotional scene.
Yeah. That's scary.
That was scary. I walked in and I was quite terrified. Especially, the thing is with auditions and castings are the fact that they're very quite different animals than actually how it is shooting on set. It's an environment where you walk in and you of course don't have the part yet, and it's a small camera and you usually have very little time. But the thing is, I remember when I walked in, and I don't think I've ever felt so safe as I felt in that room in an audition before. And Eddie and Tom were already there, and they just said, let's just sit down and talk for half an hour. So that's actually what we did, and we were able. That kind of, in one way, showed me how, because they had done 2 films already together.
Yeah.
So it was very sweet that they kind of brought me in and let me just kind of get to know them, to be able to do as a good of a read I could, I guess.
Do you worry at all when you see all of these things being written about how there are not so many roles for women? There was a cover story in the New York Times Magazine on Sunday that was all about the problem of women not having enough roles in front of the camera, behind the camera, in the executive suite. Does that play in your mind at all?
It is a reality. I've been extremely lucky. I've played some really extraordinary, strong, female-layered roles. I think it's a change happening. I've seen it at least over the last just 2-3 years when I've read scripts. It feels like, though it's an awareness that I think needs to be talked about. I actually realized. This is 2 years ago with some of the films that have come out. I did 4 films in a row. And it was not until somebody asked me a question, I don't know what it was, but it reminded me of, I had done 4 films in a row where I was a lead female role, and I hadn't had one scene with other female. And I was like, wow. But with that, I really feel like it's a change happening, and it's just wonderful to see with, I don't know, Divergent, Hunger Games, like even the big blockbuster movies have incredible female leads showing that they can bring as much of a financial, box office as anybody else. So I think just by what we do about talking about it, I think gradually, because it's about, like with any change in society, it's about bringing the subject up, bringing the awareness and information up, and then by awareness we can make a change, I think.
Fantastic. Well, please join me in thanking Alicia Vikander and
so
Gail
much.
Mutrux for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.